Hey there, this is a review for our DCC Lankhmar session number 7. This is the finale actually of this adventure, and we had 3 players. One of us was down with sickness, so they couldn't make it, unfortunately. So we had the characters Foster, Rourke, and Ozymandias. Picked up where we left off. We're in the Burn Man's house. We just pulled Foster from the water, and where he was getting chummed to some monster in there. So we've decided that we need to cross this water-filled room, and there's these little pedestals in the water and like some of them have ropes attached to them that go upwards towards the ceiling, and in the ceiling is a chandelier. I actually saw some tracks up there, footprints on the ceiling. So I ended up making the leap. I jumped to the first one, I make it, and I don't know if I jumped to the second one. I ended up trying to grab the rope because I had this thought in my head that maybe it was like a reverse thing and you could grab the rope and walk along the ceiling. Nope, that was a mistake. So the rope animates, wraps around me, and it like starts like dunking me in the water. Like it zips me up and then I go back down and it's trying to drown me. There's this long snouted skeleton-like fish in the water. At least is what it looks like at first. We figure out later it's actually translucent. They end up getting me out of that mess, and I get back on and I shoot one of those. I actually shot the fish with my crossbow and killed it. Try to jump in again, failed the roll. The dice were awful through this entire game, not just for me but for all the players. We all rolled horribly, and just really bad dice rolling. Eventually, though, this takes us quite a bit of time actually to get through this room, and the pedestals go in this room, but this room isn't like a straight shot. You have to go around this bend. Thankfully, though, what we didn't know is after we made the first jump, we didn't really have to make any rolls to make more jumps, except for we got to one point we had to make one more. There was like, I think 9 jumps in all, but we only made 2 rolls for it, so that wasn't bad. I mean, it would have been super easy if our dice didn't roll like crap. We eventually all get across, though. In the next room, there is like this hole in the floor, and there's like this, I don't know, I pictured it as like Venus flytrap with the brain coming out of it, and there was like vines growing out of the walls and the floors, and this room proved to be a challenge because the vines attacked us and we get restrained, and again, horrible dice rolling, and we're trapped, and there was a couple close calls because it would drag us towards the center of the room, the vines would, so, you know, we pretty much just assumed that we were going to be eaten if we got pulled into where the brain area was. Yeah, and I think I ended up actually getting a killing blow on this thing with my crossbow. You know, everybody else was helping too, casting spells, hitting it with magic. Foster, you know, hitting it with his weapons and stuff. It was a group effort. We get through this one. There's some stuff in this room. There's some loot, some gold bowls and candlesticks and cutlery. We pocket that stuff. There's actually a statue with gold gems for eyes. It seems really good, so we grab that as well. We go to the next room, and this has this rickety stone bridge, and this is the flaming room that we saw in the session before, where there was the little devil children and the woman that we killed came from. And on the far side, we saw this bridge going to another exit. So we crossed that bridge. There's a few of the kids in here, but they don't want anything to do with us. They watched us murder their mom, I guess, and wanted nothing to do with anything we had to say. So we we keep going. I have in my notes here that I had to make a stamina save going across. I think because of the heat of this room. This room was super warm. So, of course, my rolls stunk, so I failed to save. I take some stamina damage. We get to the other side, and there's this set of stairs going up, and I think we're kind of all, like, beaten down at this point mentally and emotionally, and physically. So we were like, all right, let's just go up the stairs. And in the back of my head, I'm like, I should probably check these stairs for traps. But nope. They were like, who goes first? I think Foster went first, then Rourke, and then my character pulled up the rear. And sure enough, we go halfway up the stairs, and I think it was Foster tripped a trap. The stairs become a bunch of things happen. So like oil starts pouring out of the walls, and the stairs become a ramp, and these flaming pots drop from the ceiling. So we're all lit on fire. We slide back down the ramp, and there's not a lot of room below. And then there's the room with fire with spikes and all this stuff. It's just gruesome. And sure enough, Rourke failed whatever saves he had to make, and he falls into the flaming spiked pit and dies, basically. Like, we have no way to save him. We try to, like, Foster and Ozymandias, my character, we try to do the stop, drop, and roll, but we're covered in oil, so it doesn't really work. So we end up stripping down, and we're basically naked except for our weapons and equipment. So that's how we actually finished out pretty much the rest of the adventure. Yeah, nothing we could do for Rourke. We had no real means to save him, and he's level 1, so he ended up dying, which was a bummer. It was a good character, and it will prove to be even a more bummer in game later on in this session. We take the time to recover what hit points we can. And the real bummer of it was because we're here to try to alleviate this curse that was put upon us. The real bummer of it is because Rourke was off with his mentor learning spells. He wasn't cursed, so he was here just to help us out. Like, he didn't even have to be in this god-awful House of Horrors. So that was kind of a bummer. But we end up going back up the ramp, and the oil's all burned off by now. It's just warm. We did retrieve Rourke's body, but like, he was just dead. There was nothing we could do. So we climb up the ramp, and then we get in this other room, and it's still under construction, and there's like twigs and stuff, and branches and hay covering the floor. So I draw my longsword, I go ahead, and I just start like using it to probe ahead. And this actually found a couple bear traps that had been set. So we were able to find those and avoid stepping in them, and then setting them off so there wouldn't be a problem. And there's nothing else really in this room, so we keep going, and we enter this other room, and it's Foster enters this room, and there's this room full of like cairns. There's all these different cairns, and I can't remember what Foster did. I think he either took a stone from the can or he threw something at the can. The whole room starts to like teeter-totter a little bit, and he's getting hit with like big rocks and stuff. And there were skeletons inside these cans, and they pop up, which we think we're about to be attacked by undead. It turns out not. They're kind of like marionettes. They're all strung together with wire and stuff. Really weird, bizarre type stuff. So we pass that by and go into the next room. And in this room, it's like a living area, and there's this old man in it, like ancient old. And he gets up and when he sees us, he gets up and he asks us, "Is it time?" So we assume this is the Burning Man, and we do the ritual of kindness, and we end up killing him, thinking like this, to perform the ritual. We do that, nothing happens. So we're like, what the heck? There's stairs that go up to another level, so we're like, oh, I might as well go check that out. We go up there, and in this room, there's like a protection circle, and within the protection circle is a couple things. It's filled with snakes, and there's hanging from the ceiling in a cage is this is the Burning Man. We discover, like, he's in this thing and in this cage, and is surrounded by snakes. So we try to like get through the protection circle. That doesn't go well. We messed with that. It actually causes damage. Like, I took some damage from, I think I reached out and touched it. That was smart. And reached out, touched it, take damage. So we're like, oh, we can't do that. We tried throwing stuff through it, couldn't do it. But we ended up prying up the floor. It has like a cobblestone type floor, and we pry up the floor enough where we can jimmy pieces out of it to disrupt the circle that's on the ground and break it. We do that, and the snakes, the guy's still in the cage, but the snakes like all coalesce together, and they turn into this giant two-headed snake that we now have to fight. And yeah, we ended up, Foster and I are doing battle with it. We're sorely outmatched. I end up going down. I'm a rogue, so I ended up getting taken down. And there was a debate, a small, short debate. Next time, like Foster's turn came up, I was like, does he bring me back? Or does he, and we had done some damage to this thing. I had hit it a couple times. Foster was hitting it, but it was, tough. And so there was a debate about whether he should bring me back or attack. And I'm always like, if the threat's still there, keep attacking it. We're going to have more people down if we don't take care of it. So Foster uses, his fighter ability to do a heroic deed, and he succeeds. And he ends up killing it. And he brings me back. And now we get to perform the ritual. And this would have been much easier with Rourke and the party, because I had to make like a spell check. I'm a thief. I don't know anything about spell checks. So I had done one before downstairs to do that ritual, and the DC was high. So Chris, our game master, was kind to us, and because I'd done it before, I think he lessened the DC a little bit, but I still had to roll. Like I did a lot of like luck burning, which is an ability you can do in DCC. The rogue or thief can do it probably he's a little bit better at it because he regenerates his luck nightly, so it's easier for me to burn my real luck and get it back than it is for other characters. So I ended up burning a bunch of luck and succeed, and we end up killing the Burning Man and completing the ritual. And what happens is we see this image of like death, the figure death, and he's got this book, and he opens up the book, and our names are in it, and we see Rourke's name in it, but I think it's been crossed out, and then we see our names, and our names get erased, so we're taken out of the book, so we're not cursed. I think that's how that worked. That scene played out. If I'm wrong, the guys will correct me in the comments. And then he adds the Burning Man's name to the book. So, and then we're free. We get out of this place. Like, we want nothing to do with this place. And interesting little encounter on the way back. We're headed back to our place, our Vagabond Court. And we're stopped. Foster basically is stopped by members of the three guys from the Watch. Frith, and Joan. And they're basically shaking him down for money that he owes from some past deed. And my character has pretty much had it at this point. Like the Slayer's Brotherhood, we believe, put this death curse on us. Now we got these guys shaking down, Foster and stuff, and I'm just like, nope. Don't do anything at the time, but there is talk of me switching my rogue thing from I don't know what they call it, the Path of the Boss, more to like the Path of the Assassin, because I think Ozymandias wants to start getting revenge on people like the Slayer's Brotherhood, these guys from the Watch and all this stuff. So we'll see what happens. But we ended up finishing the session. I think we earned enough experience points to actually level up, so we'll be second level characters when we return to Lankhmar, which I hope we do. It was a lot of fun. Frustrating only because of bad dice rolling. It was Chris did a great job running the game. I liked the DCC system. We played, 7 sessions of it, and I'd played one before. And I enjoy it. It's a nice, fun game. Magic is really kind of wonky as far as like its power scale. Like we saw Rourke do some really crazy, like he was a heavy hitter in a lot of our sessions. With the way magic works, you roll for effect, and the better you roll, the better the effect. So even as a first level magic user. He could throw down some damage if he rolled well. So really good. Bummer his character died, but that's the way games work sometimes, you know. And hopefully he'll be able to come back, and maybe we'll get another mage, or you know, he can play whatever. The DCC Lankhmar, they do a good job with. I think Goodman Games did a good job adapting DCC to Lankhmar, because one of the things they did is they cut down the character classes, so you can basically be a fighter, a rogue, thief, or a magic user. That's it. So and it's human only. You can play it, you know, not that way, but like that doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Like if you're gonna play Lankhmar, you should embrace the setting, and it's a human-centric setting. Like it's just humans. So just do it that way. But so we'll see. But this is the end of our DCC stuff for now. I don't know when Chris's turn comes back up to Game Master if he'll run it again. I think he will. He seems invested in the system, and we all had fun. So and said we'd like to return to Lankhmar. So hopefully we will. But next it's my turn to run games. So I'm going to be running us through some Shadow Dark. So we'll do that for a bit, and then we'll see what's up after that. Probably a return to Ravenloft if I had to guess. So, but that was it. I appreciate everybody following along, and I'll catch you at the next one.